Hi, I'm Katie Ledecky. As an Olympic athlete, you might think staying healthy is easy for me. Truth is, we all face challenges. Keeping the right mindset is how we achieve our best personal performance. At Catholic Health, the same focus on wellness and prevention that I follow every day is the way they think too. That's why I'm teaming up with Catholic Health to help make healthcare even more positive, proactive, and personal for every person across Long Island. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
And we are live in Farmingdale, New York. What a shot over the baseball field as St. Dominic gets set to collide with Kellenberg with a trip to the Catholic League Championship Series that gets underway this Saturday at Hofstra on the line. So glad you could join us on the Varsity Media Sports Network. It is presented by Catholic Health. We certainly appreciate their support with this broadcast, and we welcome you in to our broadcast booth. Lance Meadow with you. A beautiful afternoon here on Long Island, and we will have one team punch its ticket to the championship series. Kellenberg cruised past Holy Trinity 11-1 on Thursday on this very field. St. Dominic knocked off top seed St. Anthony's 6-4. So this is the 5th seed St. Dominic going up against the number 2 seed Kellenberg. They met during the regular season 3 times, and the Firebirds won 2 of 3. That was from April 27th to the 29th. Kellenberg lost the opener 4-1, then won the next 2 by wide margins, 15-2, 12-2 respectively. So when you put things in perspective, they outscored the Bayhawks 27-7 in those 2 games. But it's important to understand from a contextual standpoint, as I had a conversation with Joe Fusco this week, the head coach of St. Dominic, that they were not fully healthy for the majority of this season. That's why it's impressive they actually finished at 500, given the fact that they had 5 to 6 of their regulars out of the lineup for the bulk of the season. They were down 2 of their starting pitchers. Now they are at full health. So the dynamics completely different here for St. Dominic as they enter this postseason stretch and look to build off of a very impressive victory Thursday night here in Farmingdale, where Tyler Camastro put together one of his best performances of the season. He went 6 2/3. Then Matt DeFranza came in to record the final out, and they held off the number 1 seed, St. Anthony's, that has, from top to bottom, one of, if not the most dangerous lineup in the Catholic League. So St. Anthony's is now in the loser's bracket. They still have an opportunity to get to the championship series, but they don't have as much wiggle room given the margin of error. With that being said, we'll kick it over to our public address announcer, Rob Anderson, to help set the stage here for Kellenberg and St. Dominic in Farmingdale.
College, home of the Rams. This afternoon's game will feature the St. Dominic's Bayhawks facing off against the Kellenberg Firebirds. The winner of this game punches their ticket straight to Hofstra. At this time, we'd like to introduce to you the St. Dominic's starters. Batting first and playing left field, number 1, Luis Gonzalez. Batting second at first, number 18, Tyler Camastro. Batting third in right field, number 11, Dylan Weinstein. Batting fourth, pitching, number 21, Connor Ackerman. Batting fifth at second base, number 12, Ray Kim. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, number 5, Dominic Muccia. Batting seventh at third, number 15, Christian Moreno. Batting eighth, your designated hitter, number 31, Zach Cook. He'll be batting for center fielder, number 4, Christos Vangelatos. And batting ninth, catcher, number 55, Michael Scarry. Again, on the mound for the Bayhawks, right-hander, number 21, Connor Ackerman. St. Tom's is coached by assistants Steve Lee, Zach Badano, Dylan Iacobone, and R.J. Del Giorno. They're led by their head coach, Joseph Fusco. And now, here are the starters for the Kellenberg Firebirds. Batting first in center field, number 22, Joseph DeSanza. Batting second at third, number 27, Andrew Noe. Batting third at first base, number 16, Jaden Valdez. Batting fourth, your catcher, number 24, Michael Cotto. Batting fifth, playing shortstop, number 3, Richie LaVaca. Batting sixth, designated hitter, number 9, Justin Diaz. He will be batting for today's pitcher, number 21, Christopher Parisi. Batting seventh, in right field, number 2, Nicholas Conway. Batting eighth, playing second, number 13, Anthony Cantara. And batting ninth, in left field, number 6, Kristen Gavin Langner. On the mound for the Firebirds, again, right-hander, number 21, Christopher Parisi. Kellenberg is coached by assistants Matt Prokopowicz, Jamie Loeb, Derek Foder, and Doug Chiappi. They are led by their head coach, Pat Miles. The officials for today's ballgame: at first base, Joe Marciano; at third, Jerry Bates; and at home plate, Mike Herring.
Long live the morning routine. Long live friendly competition. Long live cozy nights at home. And long live healthcare that works with your life. Access to great doctors, simple mobile app, convenient locations across Long Island? Absolutely. You have options, but at Catholic Health, we'd like to remind you to choose you first, because we did too. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
And we are back here in Farmingdale, New York on the campus of SUNY Farmingdale State, gearing up for number 2 seed Kellenberg, battling 5th seed St. Dominic, with the winner advancing to Hofstra on Saturday to kick off the Catholic League Championship Series, as Kellenberg is going to have to contain this St. Dominic Bayhawks lineup that had 7 free passes in the win against St. Anthony's. They drew 5 walks, 2 hit by a pitch. As we look at Ganaris leading off again, Camastro is on the mound for their last game. Dylan Weinstein at the 3rd spot is top 5 in just about every offensive category in the Catholic League. Ackerman, who played first in the last game, he'll pitch today. Ray Kim, one of the best defensive second basemen. Mucci is knocking on the door of the all-time hits record at the school. Moreno, Cook, and Scarry rounding out the 9-man lineup. And Cook is back in the lineup after getting hit in the helmet in the last game. It was a scary situation as he took one off the helmet from St. Anthony's pitcher Luke Coates, he walked off under his own power. He headed back to the dugout. Joe Fusco said he passed concussion tests this week, so that is good news that he is back in the mix. And they are going to collide with Christopher Parisi. You see with the 1.46 whip, one of his standout statistics this season, 32 strikeouts. He's recorded 2 wins. He's got a 4.51 ERA. And Parisi brings a wealth of experience to the table, as he was on the mound for Game 3 of the championship series last year, in which Kellenberg walked off victorious over Chaminade. So this is a senior right-hander that has been on the big stage before. He was originally their second starter this season, but he was having some mechanical issues, and for a few weeks having a tough time getting out of the second inning. So Pat Miles, head coach of Kellenberg, and the coaching staff, they decided to move him to the third starter spot, so that gave him an opportunity to watch the first 2 games, familiarize himself with the hitters. He's a very smart kid. He's got a 97 average. He's got an analytical mind, so he would chart pitches in the dugout through the first 2 games of a series. And then when he made his start in the third game, he had a great read on all of the hitters. He knew their tendencies, and that was a huge turning point to his season. And since April 21st, he has thrown 17 1/3 innings, just 3 earned runs, 4 hits, and a 1.60 ERA. And 2 weeks ago, he took a no-hitter into the last inning against St. Dominic, struck out 9. So we showed the ERA over 4 on the season, but once again, timing is everything when it comes to sports, specifically baseball, and Christopher Parisi is pitching by far his best baseball as it stands right now. And he will look to set the tone against this St. Dominic lineup that is such a gritty group. They know how to wear down the opposition, as we saw them do against Luke Coates, one of the top pitchers in the Catholic League for St. Anthony's. So Luke Canaris will lead things off, the left fielder for the Bayhawks. He drew 2 walks and had a base hit in Thursday's win over St. Anthony's as he fouls that one off. He popped out to second in the second. So he was 1 for 2 in that contest. And he is protected by Camastro, who will follow. As Parisi evens the count, 1-1. Missing on the inside with that one. Weinstein will round out the 3 due up here in the first, and a ground ball to third, backhanded by Noe, and the throw over to first is in time as Valdez stretching out to record the out at first base, and we have 1 away. So great defense being flashed on opposite ends of the infield as we look at the defensive alignment. You just saw Noe and Valdez at third and first, respectively. Lavaca and Quintero round out the infield with Langner, DeSanz, and Conway from left to right in the outfield, and Cotto is behind home plate. And that breaking ball paints the inside corner for strike 1 to Camastro. The first baseman today also pitches, and it was an outstanding performance in which he dazzled the St. Dominic crowd as a high chopper is going to ground foul to the left of third. Talking with Joe Fusco this week, he mentioned Camastro's a competitor. He threw strikes, he found the zone, he executed the game plan perfectly. And that is a big reason why they're in the winner's bracket. A ground ball to short. Lavaca is there, fires across the diamond, and 2 ground outs for 2 quick outs for Parisi. And that'll bring up Dylan Weinstein, who St. Anthony's did their best to avoid in Thursday's loss, as they intentionally walked him in his final 2 opportunities at the plate. Prior to that, he grounded out to short, and he had a base hit and drove in a run in the first. So he was 1 for 2. Weinstein, a lethal hitter who has exceeded expectations this season for Joe Fusco and this coaching staff. And Fusco jokingly said, if I was the opposing pitcher or coach, I wouldn't pitch to him either, as he pops this one up into shallow left field. Lavaca waving off the outfield will back up and make the catch. So the shortstop for Kellenberg records the final 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. It's a 1-2-3 frame for Parisi as we move to the bottom of the first on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey, this is Doc Gooden, and you're watching Varsity Media.
At St. Francis Heart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Heart Center. And greater lives here.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
We move to the bottom of the first. Kellenberg with its first chance to get into the box. Same starting lineup as they showcased in Thursday's win over Holy Trinity. DeSanza out in center will lead off. Noe will command third. He bats second. Jaden Valdez is the first baseman. He'll hit third. Michael Cotto, the catcher, hitting cleanup. Richie Lavaca will follow in the 5th spot at short. Justin Diaz is the DH. He'll hit 6th. Nicholas Conway out in right field is 7th, with Anthony Quintera at 2nd, batting 8th, and Gavin Lagner out in left field will round out the lineup. Connor Ackerman, who played first in their last game, is going to take the hill. A 3.00 ERA with a 1.27 whip, 18 strikeouts. He had been dealing with elbow tendonitis earlier this season from his winter workouts as he was ramping up his throwing, but now he is fully healthy. And he is an absolute X factor for them now that they can utilize both Ackerman as well as potentially Ray Kim, who's the second baseman, who also is a pitcher, as he's been dealing with an inflamed forearm. So it goes back to the theme that I talked about off the top of the broadcast. This has not been a fully healthy Bayhawks team for the majority of the season. Now they've got all hands on deck, and that is why you saw them knock off St. Anthony's. St. Dominic did win the Catholic League regular season title each of the last 2 years, was the #1 seed. They did not get to the championship series a year ago, and I think based on how the bracket is playing out, it's another reminder that you can really throw the records out once you get to the postseason. There is not a huge separating factor between most of these teams. DeSanza hitting .292 this season in league play. He was initially the 9th hitter in the lineup, and Langner was leading off. They flipped both of those players. Is Pat Miles, he likes to experiment, especially in the early stages of the season, as he feels out his team. And a high chopper will go right back to Ackerman, who will shuffle it over to first base for out #1. As we look at the defensive alignment for the Bayhawks, Moreno, Muccia, Kim, and Camastro from left to right in the infield, with Scary behind the plate. And then in the outfield, Ganaris, Camastro, and Weinstein. And that's actually Vangelatos is in center, not Camastro. He is playing first base. So Ackerman going back to work. And Noe takes a strike. Third baseman for the Firebirds with a .373 average during the regular season. He was tied for first in the league with 9 doubles and 2 triples. So he knows how to hit and then step on the gas, as he just displays there by ripping one into right field for a base hit. And Andrew Noe does what he has been doing all throughout the regular season with 22 hits, which was second on the team and tied for third in the league. And he puts a runner on here in the bottom of the first for Jaden Valdez. Valdez hit a 2-run home run in the first inning of their last game, which helped ignite an 11-run outburst. Let's see what he has in store for an encore performance. Valdez right behind Noe with a .372 average this season. He's their power guy. 5 home runs, which was tied for fourth in the league. And the 0-1 pitch is taken on the outside corner for a strike. Michael Cotto is on deck. Valdez is slugging .767 this season. He's got an on-base percentage of .614. Those numbers very impressive. The 0-2 pitch misses inside for a ball. As Valdez trying to fight his way back into the count. He is committed to play at Adelphi. Last season, there was an open competition at first base for about 1/3 of the season, but once he took over the reins, there was no looking back for Pat Miles and the staff. And that is framed beautifully by Scary for out number 2 here in the first inning as Valdez goes down looking. And you're going to see Ackerman and Scary hooking up there for a pitch right over the plate. And that is a big out for Ackerman to silence one of the most lethal hitters in the Catholic League. That'll bring up Michael Cotto, starting catcher for the Firebirds. Still has a runner on to work with here with 2 outs. He hit .327 this season. 22 RBI. That led the team and was 3rd best in the league. A tremendous defensive presence behind the plate. And that ball gets away, and Noe is easily going to head to second base. So now a runner's in scoring position with 2 outs for Kellenberg as they look to strike first. Cotto last season, he's only a sophomore. He was the first freshman to ever make varsity at Kellenberg. They graduated both of their catchers the previous year, and they handed things over to a first year. And he ran wild with it as he foul tips that one. And Pat Miles says he could easily be the best defensive catcher in the league. And they have already put him up for Catcher of the Year. And based on the nominations, it looks like he will in all likelihood run away with things. And he is just a sophomore, so he still has 2 years left with his development. And you look at what he's doing in just his second year on varsity as the 1-1 pitch is grounded towards third, and making the play is Moreno. He'll throw to first, and that throw is in time. So they leave Noe stranded at second. And St. Dominic keeps Kellenberg off the board in a scoreless first inning as we move to the second on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net.
We move to the top of the second here in Farmingdale, New York. Thanks so much for spending part of your afternoon with us on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Parisi back on the hill. He pitched a 1-2-3 first inning. 2 ground outs followed by a pop out to take care of Ganaris, Camastro, and Weinstein. So coming up here in the second, it's Ackerman, Kim, and Muccia due up. Ackerman left a runner stranded on second in the bottom of the first. And a reminder, you can subscribe to the Varsity Media YouTube page to stay locked to all of our upcoming broadcasts and events. It's a very busy season. Now that we're in the month of May, it is championship season. And the winner of this game is going to head to the Catholic League Championship Series that starts Saturday at Hofstra. And the first pitch to Ackerman misses for a ball. Ackerman was 0 for 4 in the win against St. Anthony's. He struck out 3 times and flied out, as that will sail into foul territory. A two-way player just like Camastro, so they don't have to take him out of the lineup as that breaking ball gets away from Parisi. So this is pitcher against pitcher. As Parisi is heading to Queens College. He's got some athletic background as he wrestles and also has a brown belt in judo. There are a lot of athletes on this field. He's in the 190-pound weight class as a wrestler, and he made the Catholic State Tournament, lost by a point to the ultimate winner as the grounder goes right back to Parisi, and he's right on point there to scoop it up and record out number 1 here in the second. So Ackerman has retired the first 4 batters of this game, 3 by ground out. And that is going to bring up Ray Kim, who's committed to Rhode Island. Joe Fusco calls a defensive wizard at second base. And he hits this one deep to left field. Langner looking up, back at the track, and will make the grab for out number 2 here in the second. A great job by Gavin Langner to track that all the way back towards the gap in left center field as Kim put a lot of power underneath this as we take another look. And you're going to see where Langner started here, and he had to cover a lot of real estate all the way back towards the warning track, gliding to his left for the out. So Parisi getting the support of his outfield. That'll bring up Dom Muccia, the shortstop, who has had a stellar career with the Bayhawks. He's been on varsity since he was a freshman. That's why he's knocking on the door of 100 career hits. Hit 300 in the regular season as he lofts one into left field, and that is going to drop in as Lavaca could not get there in time, and Langner was playing too far back. So Muccia continuing to swing a red-hot bat as he places one into left field for a 2-out single, and that is the first hit of the afternoon for the Bayhawks after Parisi retired the first 5 batters. And that'll put Christian Moreno, the third baseman, in the box. He is heading to CSI, the College of Staten Island. Another senior in the lineup. And the first pitch, he pops up towards the left side of the infield. Lavaca gets underneath it. And Parisi is able to pitch around that 2-out single and put another 0 on the board as we are off to the bottom of the second here in Farmingdale on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Hi, I'm Katie Ledecky. As an Olympic athlete, you might think staying healthy is easy for me. Truth is, we all face challenges. Keeping the right mindset is how we achieve our best personal performance. At Catholic Health, the same focus on wellness and prevention that I follow every day is the way they think too. That's why I'm teaming up with Catholic Health to help make healthcare even more positive, proactive, and personal for every person across Long Island. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
A beautiful day here in Farmingdale, New York, on the campus of SUNY Farmingdale State. Scoreless affair, 78 degrees. Feels like 80, though. And the sun is out, not a cloud in the sky. A perfect day to take in playoff action here in the Catholic League on the diamond. As we move to the bottom of the second, Ackerman pitched around a 1-out single by Andrew Newey in the first. It is Lavaca, Diaz, and Conway due up here in the second. Lavaca with a team best .455 average this season and was second in the league with 25 hits. Showing bunt and then pulling back and watches one sail into the strike zone. Also led the team with 26 runs scored. Last season in his junior campaign, dealt with hamstring injuries that sidelined him for a few weeks, but he was relentless in his rehab and from day one took the shortstop position, was solid in the field, and this came after he created a lot of buzz on the JV team, and you see how far he's come as he is trying to get his team back to the championship series and successfully defend their title. Lavaca will join Valdez at Adelphi next year. As that one just misses outside for ball 3. So he took a strike when he was looking to bunt right out of the gates, and Ackerman with 3 straight balls since. And that one is slow tap towards short. In position is Muccia. And we've got one gone here in the second inning. So both pitchers have induced a handful of groundouts as the third for Ackerman. He also got DeSanza and Cotto to ground out. Justin Diaz, the DH. Junior hit .278 this season. Drove in 5 runs and scored 5 times in league play as he fouls that one back. Kellenberg jumped on Holy Trinity with 2 runs in the first in their last game on Thursday, proving to be a bit more difficult here against St. Dominic as Ackerman uses that breaking ball effectively. with Diaz aiming for the fences. Sixth hitter in the lineup, facing an 0-2 count and a ground ball right to second where Kim scoops it and tosses for the second straight ground out here in the second. Ray Kim, his usual position is shortstop, but they moved him to second because, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he's dealing with a forearm injury, so that inhibits his ability for bigger range at short. But he continues to impress with his baseball IQ. And he made tons of great plays and stops against St. Anthony's in support of Camastro. Conway homered in their win over Holy Trinity. Hammered one deep to right in the sixth to make it a 7-1 game. And he is now looking to break open this scoreless affair. And the 2-0 pitch lined up the middle into center field for a base hit. The second single of the day for the Firebirds. And just like they did in the first inning, they put a runner on the bag with now Anthony Cantera, the second baseman, in the box. And we take another glance at Conway with his beautiful stroke, sending it into center field as he will be heading to American International, AIC. Cantera hit .310 this season. Multiple batters over 300 in the lineup for Kellenberg. And the first pitch right back towards the mound, up the middle. Kim backs it up, but he can't get it to first in time. Still a tremendous effort, which supports what we were talking about, but it is going to be an infield single for Cantera. And here you're going to see over the river, through the woods, and no safe arrival to Grandma's house as Kim and Camastro could not connect. So now Kellenberg threatening with 2 on and 2 out for their 9th hitter in the lineup, Gavin Langner, a .286 hitter this season. Is now Ackerman's got something to think about, and the breaking ball just misses outside. Langner's older brother Ryan was on the team last year, also a left fielder. Helped them win the championship and go on to the States. And Ackerman locates on the inside corner to even the count. Langner talked about earlier, he was the leadoff hitter, now batting 9th. Also moved him around from a defensive perspective. By position, he's a second baseman, but they were using him at DH, and they needed help in the outfield. So Pat Miles asked him, hey, do you have any experience playing in the outfield? And whether or not he was truthful, he said yes, and the rest is history. As this 1-1 pitch is grounded to short, and it is going to be Muccia that will step on second for the force out to leave 2 stranded for Kellenberg. So the Firebirds threatened in the bottom of the second, could not bring a runner across home plate. 0-0 between both teams as we move across to another frame here in Farmingdale, New York on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
it's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosted the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Top of the third inning here in Farmingdale, New York. Scoreless between St. Dominic and Kellenberg. Both teams combining for 4 hits. Kellenberg threatening in the bottom of the second, putting 2 on with 2 out. And Ackerman coming through by getting Langner to ground it to a fielder's choice to short. Zach Cook will lead things off here in the third, the 8th hitter in the lineup, followed by Scary, and then we go to the top of the order with Ganaris. So Cook again was nailed in the helmet by Luke Coates in Thursday's victory over St. Anthony's, was down for a few minutes as he takes a strike on the outside corner. Fortunately, was able to get up under his own power, headed to the dugout, did not play the rest of the game. Chris Vangelatos, who was out in center field again today, took over. But Cook had to go through concussion protocol, and he passed all the tests, so he is back in the lineup. First year, who has showcased his toughness on many different occasions. And he is going to go down looking. Christopher Parisi with 3 straight dimes. And we have one away here in the third as his location on point with Cotto. And that is his first K of the afternoon. So here is Mike Scary, the catcher for the Bayhawks. And Scary sends the first pitch into foul territory down the left field line. And giving it chase was Noe, but lost track of where the ball was, and he and Lavaca were not able to position themselves to make the play. Scary hit .261 during the regular season. In search of St. Dominic's second hit is Parisi's pitch. Sails past Cotto. I mentioned earlier about Cotto's development as a hitter and being the first ever freshman to play on varsity. The other thing that Pat Miles and the coaching staff have been emphasizing to him is, and you're going to see this during the broadcast just now, you see he's very aggressive in framing pitches as he helps Parisi's case there to record a strike. And they had been telling him, you got to make the umpire work. He's got to do his job. And again, you see Cotto right before Parisi pitches and delivers, setting up a bouncer to Lavaca at short, and the throw is so on point, it even gives Valdez a chance to place the tag before Scary gets to the bag. And here you see, hard ground ball, Lavaca making another strong throw from deep in the hole. And we go to the top of the order with Ganaris, who grounded out to third to lead off the game. He hit .345 this season. And the 1-0 pitch, too high for ball 2. This is a Bayhawks team that's riding a 4-game winning streak. 18-12 overall, 9-9 in league play during the regular season. pops this one up. Cotto is going to be called off, and the ball is going to drop in, as coming in from first was Valdez, and they're fortunate that it bounced foul. So here we go. Cotto looks like he is telling Valdez, hey, I got it, and then Valdez loses his footing, and they are very fortunate that it took a fortuitous bounce in their favor, bringing Ganaris back to the bag. But let's keep that in our back pocket, especially if Ganaris gets on. You could play the coulda, woulda, shoulda game. And Parisi delivers one a little bit too inside to make it a 3-1 count. Parisi had a 1-2-3 first. He's looking to do the same thing here in the third, as we'll have a payoff pitch coming. Ganaris asking for time. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the top of the third inning, in a scoreless affair between Kellenberg and St. Dominic. The payoff pitch, and that one misses for ball 4. So Ganaris does get on with a 2-out walk. And that is the first free base that Parisi has issued today. So here is the second hitter, Tyler Camastro, who grounded out to short in his first at-bat in the first inning. And he sends one into the gap in right center field. That is going to drop in for a base hit. Heading towards third and sliding in safely is Ganaris, who got a great jump start. And St. Dominic is now threatening with runners on the corners and 2 outs here in the third, thanks to the bat of Tyler Camastro, who pitched a gem on Thursday against St. Anthony's, and now just hitting today continues to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the Bayhawks. And Dylan Weinstein now, a .377 hitter during the regular season, popped out to short in his first at-bat. Now, they pitched to him. Unlike St. Anthony's, last 2 opportunities Thursday, they intentionally walked him. But Parisi is not shying away, as Weinstein sends one into right field. Conway backing up. He'll make the catch, and Parisi leaves 2 stranded. Kellenberg in a bit of a jam, but they get out of it thanks to the fly out to right field, and it stays a scoreless affair as we move to the bottom of the third on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Merrill, he's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone, lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face-on, stay-on athlete, controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
Bottom of the third inning here in Farmingdale, New York, with Kellenberg and St. Dominic in a scoreless battle. They've combined for 5 hits in each of the last 2 frames. Both teams have threatened, but they have not been able to push across a run. Kellenberg took 2 of 3 in the regular season. First game was a 4-1 contest that St. Dominic won. The last 2, 27 combined runs for the Firebirds. But that was a different team that was not fully healthy. And St. Dominic now taking on a completely different form with Ackerman on the hill, with DeSanza, the leadoff hitter, starting things up again in the third. Noe and Valdez will follow. He grounded out to the pitcher in his first at bat, and he swings and misses there. DeSanza hit .292 in the regular season. And the 0-2 pitch, high and outside for a ball. DeSanza doubled in his last at bat on Thursday, and he swings at the low pitch and misses for a strikeout. As Connor Ackerman gets his second K of the day, and you're going to see he blew it right past the center fielder for Kellenberg. He got Valdez looking in the first, and now DeSanza swinging in the third. Noe, a base hit in his first at bat in the first, but he was left stranded. They had him at second base at the beginning of the year, but they moved him to third because they had issues there. As he chops this one foul. And that was a similar move that his older brother Kevin, who also played for Kellenberg, experienced when he was with the Firebirds, moving from second to third. So apparently it's a family tradition. But he has been so solid for this team as Ackerman falls behind in the count. Noe last season finished fourth in the league in batting average. He was an all-league player. And that was after he hit just .125 as a freshman. As Ackerman having trouble locating the strike zone, down 3-1 in the count. So huge strides that Noe has made since his first year with the team. And he has become quite the spark plug. And that is going to be a free base for Noe. So he's on for the second time this afternoon. And now Valdez, just like he did in the first, has Noe at first base. Valdez couldn't solve the Ackerman riddle in his first at bat. Cotto is on deck. Runner goes as Valdez shows bunt. Scary's throw to second is not in time. So Noe now putting himself again in scoring position as Valdez showed bunt, pulled it back, and Scary's throw is right on line to Kim, but sliding in underneath the tag was Noe. Had 3 stolen bases in the regular season. And takes now a comfortable lead from second. As Ackerman has something to think about, and the 1-0 pitch is grounded foul. This is the batter you want up if you're Kellenberg, with a chance to untie this scoreless knot here in the bottom of the third inning. As Kim comes over to second base, Ackerman with the 1-1 pitch, and he blows it right past Valdez. So Ackerman is a strike away from sitting down Valdez for the second time. As he has put elbow tendonitis behind him and is in postseason form. But right now occupied with Noe at second. And that offering just off the plate. Crowd getting into every single pitch here in Farmingdale. Despite the early start, they have come down for game one of this doubleheader. Chaminade and Holy Trinity at 7 p.m. Eastern will follow. And Ackerman again just off the mark. So a payoff pitch with a runner on second and one out here in the bottom of the third. Ackerman keeping close tabs on Noe. Here's the payoff pitch to Valdez, and he smokes one deep to left field, which falls right into the glove of Canaris, who backed up all the way to the warning track to make that robbery. And there is two away here in the third, and that also kept Noe at second. And you're going to see Valdez thought maybe this had a chance, but Canaris read the trajectory beautifully to sit down Valdez for the second time in this game. Michael Cotto grounded out to third, and now he will have a runner in scoring position. This was the man that drove in more runs than everybody else on the team this season. And the first pitch, breaking ball, misses. Lavaca's on deck if Cotto can get aboard. Kellenberg, 3 hits, all singles in this game. The 1-0 pitch to Cotto in the dirt. Scary was able to block it. Kellenberg has put at least one runner on in each of the first 3 innings, but they have yet to put a run on the board. As Ackerman is not losing sight of Noe at second. And now time being asked for by Cotto as the game of chess continues to ensue. The crowd growing antsy in between every pitch. And this 2-0 pitch misses. So Ackerman having some trouble hooking up with Scary in the zone. So Mike is going to head to the mound and talk things over with his battery mate. Kim will come in from second. If he were to walk Cotto, Lavaca grounded out to short in his first at bat in the second. 5th hitter in the lineup for the Firebirds. It doesn't get any easier when you look at this Kellenberg lineup. And the 3-0 pitch is in for a strike, and you knew Cotto was in no rush to swing at that one. He was going to test Ackerman to see whether or not he could locate. And that is going to be a free base for Michael Cotto. The second walk of the third inning by Ackerman, as he also gave Noe first base. So Noe at second, Cotto at first with 2 outs. And Lavaca, the starting shortstop for the Firebirds, in the box. A very impressive season for him. Went through the numbers earlier. Led the team in batting average, hits, and runs scored. And the first pitch is grounded foul. One of the things that Pat Miles, the head coach of Kellenberg, highlights when he talks about Lavaca is how good he is in making contact. He's got that fight in him to wear down the opposition and not make it easy from at bat to at bat. And a golden opportunity for him here. And the 0-1 pitch is grounded off the glove of Ackerman and will roll into center field for a base hit. And easily coming in to score is Noe from second. Kellenberg strikes first, 1-0, thanks to their top hitter on the season, Richie Lavaca. So the number 2 seed, just as it did in Thursday's game against Holy Trinity, puts a number other than 0 on the board first, and you see it ricocheted off the glove of Ackerman, and then took a fortuitous bounce into center field. Vangelatos acted as if he was going to make a throw, but ultimately did not. As now we see Diaz in the box, and the ball gets away briefly, so Scary throws to third, but it is Cotto that slides in safely. And you also had Lavaca advance to second, so 2 runners in scoring position here for Diaz, who drove in 5 runs in league play this season. And he has an opportunity to add some cushion. The 1-0 pitch lifted into center field. Vangelatos is there to secure it. And they will leave 2 more stranded, but not before Richie Lavaca delivers an RBI single off the glove of Ackerman that rolled into center field. Noe came in to score. Kellenberg leading St. Dominic 1-0 as we move to the 4th on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Kellenberg getting a run across home plate thanks to Richie Lavaca's bat. An RBI single that brought home Andrew Noe, and Kellenberg ahead of St. Dominic 1-0 as we move to the top of the 4th inning. Christopher Parisi has been effective keeping the Bayhawks in check, though they did put 2 on in the 3rd. And then he got Weinstein to fly out to right, but he retired the first 5 batters of this game before Muccia singled in the 2nd with 2 outs. And Ackerman, who could not get his glove in the right spot off the connection from Lavaca, will now look to help his own cause with Kim and Muccia to follow. Ackerman grounded out to Parisi on the hill in his first at bat. A .321 hitter during the regular season. as he takes a strike on the inside corner. Ackerman had 9 hits and 6 RBI in league play. He swings and misses at that one. We're getting into the heart of the order for the Bayhawks with the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up, and he swings and misses. The ball gets away. Cotto is on point to throw to first, and 1 out here in the 4th inning. As you're going to see Parisi dialing up. Low pitch that Ackerman chased. And Cotto, to play safe, was there to throw to first. So that is the 2nd strikeout for Parisi, who came into today 32 Ks. Kim flied out to left in his first at bat. And the breaking ball paints the outside corner for a strike. As Parisi continuing to move fast here on the mound. He'll get up to 90 on his fastball, but the one thing that Pat Miles, head coach of the Firebirds, had been emphasizing is to not rely on it as much, and that pitch gets away from him and nails Kim on the back. So Kim is going to jog to first with 1 out. As Muccia, who hit a base hit in the 2nd, will have someone to work with. Muccia is now up to 87 hits as a varsity player. 108 is the record, and if you ask Joe Fusco, he believes that he is going to shatter that record. As Cotto does an excellent job blocking that pitch from Parisi. The 1-0 pitch grounded in the hole between first and second, and Cantera is there, but it does advance the runner, Kim, to second base as Muccia effectively puts the ball in play. So a runner in scoring position for Moreno. Moreno popped out to short in his first at bat in the 2nd. Cook is on deck if Moreno can get aboard. Moreno hit .326 during the regular season. Just misses on the inside corner. Bottom 3 hitters in the lineup have not recorded a hit against Parisi. But here is a chance for the senior third baseman as the Bayhawks look to tie the game up here, trailing 1-0. Kim looking to take advantage of being hit by a pitch. And this pitch is grounded to third. And that bouncer is going to go right into the glove of Valdez for the out. What a play at the hot corner by Andrew Noe, who scored the lone run in this game. This was a close one. He wasn't going to take any chances over the bag and bounced it right behind the hill to Valdez for the nifty out to keep Kellenberg up 1-0 over St. Dominic as we step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosted the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Bottom of the fourth inning here in Farmingdale, New York. Nicholas Conway leading off for the Firebirds with Cantera and Langner due up. Conway had a base hit in his first at bat in the second. He is now a completely different hitter in the latter stages of the season as that ball skips in the dirt. Struggled a bit earlier, but one of the things Pat Miles commended him on is he never lost his confidence. He rode the wave, and 2 weeks ago, things just absolutely clicked. As the 2-0 pitch is grounded towards second, Kim is there. And Ackerman records out number one here in the fourth. Cantera recorded an infield single in his first at bat in the second. They put 2 on with 2 out after his connection, but then Langner grounded into a fielder's choice to short. As Cantera takes a strike on the inside corner. Senior slid into second base after they moved Noe to third. As he lines one down the left field line, and that is going to be an out. An outstanding grab by Luca Norris, laying out and sacrificing his body for yet another robbery in this game. And Cantera thought he had a no doubt about it base hit until Canaris had other plans. And there is 2 away here in the fourth inning. A dazzling flash of leather by the left fielder with Langner now in the box. He thought he was going to have a runner to work with until Canaris had other plans. And Ackerman's pitch is lifted into left, and they continue to aim the way of Canaris, and he continues to answer the call. It's a 1-2-3 frame for Ackerman as we take another glance at the left fielder for the Bayhawks, laying out to keep this a 1-run game with 4 innings in the books in Farmingdale on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey, this is Doc Gooden, and you're watching Varsity Media.
At St. Francis Heart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Heart Center. And greater lives here.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Top of the 5th inning here in Farmingdale, New York, on the campus of SUNY Farmingdale State. Winner of this game heads to Hofstra for the championship series that will get underway on Saturday. Kellenberg, the number 2 seed, which cruised past Holy Trinity 11-1 in this ballpark last Thursday. St. Dominic, the 5th seed, knocked off top seed St. Anthony's, and that is why they are colliding here. Looking to punch their ticket to the big stage in the Catholic League. Kellenberg, the defending champs, will get back there for the 2nd straight year. As Parisi goes back to work against Zach Cook, who went down looking in his first at bat in the 3rd. As that one sails over Cook's head, and Cook may have had flashbacks to what transpired on Thursday when he was nailed in the helmet, but thankfully bounced back up, passed concussion test, and is in the lineup once again. The 1-1 pitch grounded toward short. Lavaca fires across the diamond for the first out here in the 5th. It's been a busy day for Kellenberg's shortstop, as that is the 4th out that he has recorded. 3 ground outs and a pop out. Scary, speaking of Lavaca, grounded out to short in his last at bat. The 261 hitter this season, trying to spark his team's offense. After they put 6 runs on the board against St. Anthony's, but they had 7 free passes in that game. 5 walks, 1 was intentional, and 2 hit by a pitch. That created a lot of base runners. Parisi has avoided that today, and that has been a huge difference maker, as his 1-1 pitch is skied high towards the left of third base, and Andrew Noe backpedaling and making the grab for the 2nd out here in the 5th. Parisi issued a walk to Ganaris in the 3rd and hit Kim with a pitch in the 4th. Outside of that, it has been a clean game. And that is the difference between how he's pitching now versus earlier this season when he was the 2nd starter. He has learned the hitter's tendencies, and it has given him a different outlook and a different approach, as Ganaris is getting underneath that pitch, grounds to Lavaca, and the throw to first is in time. It is the Richie Lavaca and Jaden Valdez show. They continue to connect religiously in this game, and Parisi is loving what he sees on the left side of the infield. Lavaca firing another strike that Valdez stretches out to grab. It's a 1-2-3 5th for Parisi as we head to the bottom of the frame on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
Merrill, oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net.
This game has showcased outstanding defense on both ends, whether it's Ganaris out in left field for St. Dominic or Richie Lavaca at short. DeSanza laying down the bunt. Scary is there, and the throw to first is not in time. So DeSanza hustles his way to the bag, and they will have the leadoff runner on. So you see, perfectly placed to the left side of the plate. Scary was there, but a little bit late, scooping it up and throwing it over to Camastro. Noe drew a walk and stole a base in the third. Came through with a base hit in the first, so he's been on twice in this game. And he shows bunt, it pulls back as that pitch was offline. Noe committed to St. John's, so he will be a member of the Red Storm, but still has another year to go with the Kellenberg program. And what's going to be very interesting is where Cotto ultimately ends up, considering he still has 2 more years to go, but he is already creating quite the buzz, the starting catcher for Kellenberg. And we're going to have a meeting here on the hill for St. Dominic as Ackerman having to deal with Noe for the 3rd time with a runner on first after DeSanza laid down the bunt. Ackerman in this game has had some hiccups, but before we get into that, a reminder that you could book a sportscast with us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Keep fans, family, and alumni connected. Any team can order. 516-403-2050, or you can email Ben at varsitymedia.net. And I mentioned the opportunities for Kellenberg. Base hit in the first, put a runner on. They had 2 singles in the second, 2 walks and a single in the third. The only clean inning thus far for Ackerman was the 4th, where he got the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters out. As the 1-0 pitch to Noe is in there for a strike. Valdez is on deck. He's 0 for 2. Went down looking. Flied out to left. 3rd hitter in the lineup and one of their top batters. But right now, he's got his hands full with Noe. A scary throws back to first. And DeSanza with the head-first dive, able to get back to the bag. DeSanza 6 stolen bases this season, so he is a bit of a threat as he takes another comfortable lead from first. Two-one pitch to Noe and bounces off the body of Camastro into right field. So heading all the way to third is DeSanza, and the throw was high, but it was backed up by Ganaris, who came in from left field as it deflected off the glove of Moreno. So let's take another look. A hard hit ball off the upper body of Camastro that rolls all the way into right field. And then Weinstein airmailed one towards third base, and fortunately Ganaris was there to back him up. So that saved a run, but advancing to second was Noe. So now 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out for one of the most dangerous hitters in the Catholic League, Valdez. And he sends the first pitch with a line drive into the gap in left center. DeSanza scores. Noe follows, standing up and crossing home plate. It's a 2-run single for Jaden Valdez, his first connection to the game. And Kellenberg pads its lead. It's 3-0 here in the 5th. It was only a matter of time till Valdez got going, and he took advantage with 2 on and nobody out. Valdez drove in 19 runs in the regular season. That was second best on the team. As Cotto now comes up with Valdez on first. Cotto grounded out to third in the first. He walked in the third. And this is a player that did not take much time at all to settle in his young career with the Firebirds. Made noise as a freshman, has been even more impressive as a sophomore, and one of the things that helped him last season, just from a maturity standpoint and development, is he was 15 years old and he caught Jack Durso, the ace who graduated and is now at Miami. As he pops this one up into foul territory, and Moreno is there to record out number 1 here in the 5th. And that is a much-needed out for Ackerman and company. But it doesn't get any easier with now Lavaca in the box. 1 for 2. Singled in the third, grounded out to short in the second. Crowd getting into it with Lavaca looking to do more damage. The Kellenberg faithful filling up the stands here as he chops that one foul. Lavaca has been a household name within this program since he suited up for the JV team. And now here in his senior campaign, trying to help the program win its 2nd straight Catholic League title. That would be quite the way to finish up his career. 1-1 pitch, grounded to third. Moreno's gonna fire to second. Kim over to first, and Camastro could not secure it. So they'll get the force out at second to knock out the leadoff runner. As Moreno made the right decision there, had a high percentage look, but Kim's throw bounced into the dirt, and Camastro did his best to keep his body in the way to prevent it from going wide. But safe at first is Lavaca. Justin Diaz is 0 for 2. He grounded out to second in the second. He flied out to center in the third. 278 hitter on the season and rips one down towards first base, where Camastro makes up for not finishing the double play just moments ago. The St. Dominic glove work gets more impressive as this game moves along, as Camastro lays out for the latest robbery for the Bayhawks and closes the door on the 5th inning. Kellenberg puts 2 more on the board. It's 3-0 Firebirds as we move to the 6th on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Long live the morning routine. Long live friendly competition. Long live cozy nights at home. And long live healthcare that works with your life. Access to great doctors, simple mobile app, Convenient locations across Long Island? Absolutely. You have options, but at Catholic Health, we'd like to remind you to choose you first, because we did too. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Top of the 6th inning here in Farmingdale, New York. Kellenberg putting 2 more runs on the board with Jaden Valdez's 2-run single in the 5th inning, as they scored their first run of the game in the 3rd inning with Lavaka's base hit that brought home Noe. And leading off for St. Dominic is Tyler Camastro, who just made a fantastic play at first base to end the previous frame. And the first pitch from Parisi is sent into the gap in right center field, and that is going to drop in right through the triangle of 2 outfielders, as well as Anthony Cantera. They were all in the vicinity, but nobody could make the grab, and I think Camastro was even surprised that that dropped through, as you saw Conway come in and could not get there in time. So that will go down as a base hit. That ball did not hit anybody glove-wise. And now Dylan Weinstein, who is 0 for 2, will look to get his bat going, as the first pitch grounds off the hill and through the glove of Cantera into center field. Camastro's chugging along. He will slide into 3rd, and off to 2nd on the throw is Weinstein. Back-to-back base hits for the Bayhawks to lead off the 6th inning, and they are threatening with a pair of runners in scoring position, as that went off the back of the mound and right under the glove of Cantera. And now Kellenberg has something to talk about, with St. Dominic threatening and showing signs of life on offense, with Connor Ackerman, the starting pitcher, due up. And I am receiving word that that is going to be ruled an E4. So it will not go down as a base hit for Weinstein. They're going to get Cantera with the error, as he was unable to secure it as it bounced up the middle. Nonetheless, it will still be 2 runners on for St. Dominic, as Camastro's was clean and went down as a single. Ackerman is 0 for 2. He grounded out to the pitcher in the 2nd. He went down swinging in the 4th. And he is licking his chops here. A chance to change the trajectory of this game and aid his own cause. Ackerman drove in 6 runs during league play with 9 hits and an average well over 300. And he is looking to live up to his label as the cleanup hitter. Can Parisi get out of the jam? That is the first error of the game for Kellenberg. And Ackerman takes a strike on the outside corner. Ray Kim is on deck with 2 on and nobody out. And Ackerman is in no hurry. He's making Parisi work for it. A pitcher who completely changed his approach and has been on the money since the latter part of April. A very hard arm to solve. Ackerman facing a 2-1 count. The ball gets away, and charging home from third is Camastro to put St. Dom's on the board for the first time this afternoon. It's a 3-1 game here in the sixth, and the mishaps continuing to pile here for the Firebirds. And this is what happens when you put runners on the base paths. You give the pitcher something to think about. A 3-1 count and a ground ball to Lavaca at short. He'll fire across the diamond for the ground out, but that is going to drive in a run as Weinstein scores from third. So an RBI ground out for Ackerman as he puts the ball in play, and it is now a 3-2 game as St. Dominic pulls within a 1 run, 3-2. Ray Kim now with the bases empty. Flied out to left in the second, hit by a pitch in the fourth. And Parisi bringing the heat to try to sit down Kim. So the two leadoff batters that got on, Camastro and Weinstein, came around to score. As Kim looking to continue the rally with 1 out. The 0-2 pitch and a slow chopper that will bounce foul. The pressure rising here in the sixth inning as Parisi looks to maintain his team's lead. He retired the first 5 batters of the game before Muccia came through with a 2-out single. And he has effectively worked his way out of a jam and is trying to do the same here as he gets Ray Kim swinging. Parisi dialing it up a notch for his 3rd K and 2nd out here in the 6th. As you're going to see him and Cotto on the same page there. As that sailed right past the bat of St. Dom's second baseman. And now Muccia, who had a base hit in the second and grounded out to second in the 4th. Up with nobody on and 2 outs is that pitch off the glove of Cotto. When Parisi mixes in his pitches, you see how effective he is as opposed to leaning on the fastball, which has been a point of emphasis going back to the earlier stages of the season from Pat Miles, the head coach at company. As Cotto again effectively frames that pitch, which we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, to help his arm fight his way back into this count. The 2-1 pitch, though, is going to hit Muccia on the backside. So that is the 2nd batter that Parisi has hit. He also nailed Kim in the 4th. And that is something that Parisi had been avoiding for the majority of this game, the free passes. But you see now, the 2nd one that he's hit by a pitch. He's only walked 1. That was Ganaris in the 3rd. And the error by Quintera certainly came back to bite them earlier in this inning. Moreno now up. He's 0 for 2. Popped out to short, grounded out to 3rd. And he will jump ahead of the count. 1 ball, no strikes. Zach Cook is on deck. as we get into the bottom of the order for the Bayhawks. Moreno with the check swing. It doesn't make a difference. That was in for a strike. Runner goes. The pitch inside, and the throw to second is going to be in time. So how about Michael Cotto, who picked off 5 runners this season, threw out 20. He's adding to his tally with another strike. And that will wrap up the frame to perfection. But not before St. Dominic puts 2 on the board to make it a 1-run game as we step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Hi, I'm Katie Ledecky. As an Olympic athlete, you might think staying healthy is easy for me. Truth is, we all face challenges. Keeping the right mindset is how we achieve our best personal performance. At Catholic Health, the same focus on wellness and prevention that I follow every day is the way they think too. That's why I'm teaming up with Catholic Health to help make healthcare even more positive, proactive, and personal for every person across Long Island. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Connor Ackerman still on the mound here for the Bayhawks. This game definitely took a turn in the top of the 6th inning with 2 runs being plated by St. Dominic, with a base hit by Camastro to lead off the inning, then an error by Quintera at second. Both of those runs scoring as a result of a few mishaps by Kellenberg. And now Nicholas Conway and company will look to add some padding to what was a 3-run cushion. Conway singled and grounded out to second. He'll take a strike. He was up in the 2nd and the 4th frames. Quintera and Langner also due up, as we'll see the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters in the lineup. Swings and misses for strike 2. So Ackerman jumping ahead. Pat Miles says Conway is swinging like it's wiffle ball, but unfortunately unable to live through to those expectations there, as he goes down with 3 straight strikes. And he is now 1 for 3 this afternoon, and Ackerman delivering to Scary on the outside corner that Conway attempted to reach out for. Quintera had an infield single in the 2nd. He flied out to left in the 4th. So he is 1 for 2 today. And the first pitch lofted into the gap in right center field. That will drop in for a base hit. Anthony Quintera making up for his error in the top of the frame with a 1-out single. And that will give Langner somebody to work with out of the 9th spot. He grounded into a fielder's choice to short in the 2nd, and then flied out to left in the 4th. And we're going to have a pinch runner, it looks like, for Kellenberg, as Quintera is going to head back to the dugout. as Nicholas Rugen will take over at first base. Langner with an opportunity to gain back a run for Kellenberg as he fouls that one off into the netting. 286 hitter on the season with a .514 on base percentage. And he really is adjusted to multiple roles, whether it's out in the field, whether it's batting, leadoff, in the ninth spot, you name it. Ackerman trying to do some damage control. He started off by Kay and Conway. Can he do the same here to Langner? The 1-2 pitch, and that is grounded foul. We go to the top of the order with DeSanza after Langner. And the 1-2 pitch, grounded back to Ackerman. They'll have a chance at two. The throw to second, there's one. On to first. In time, a 1-6-3 inning-ending double play to wipe out Quintera's base hit. And Connor Ackerman doing everything in his power to keep his team within striking distance. As Muccia came over from short and then hooked up with Camastro at first. Another dazzling display of defense by the Bayhawks, sparked by their pitcher. As we take another look, the equation reads 1-6-3 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosts the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Top of the seventh inning here in Farmingdale. Kellenberg 3 outs away from punching its ticket to the championship series, which will start at Hofstra on Saturday. And it is Christopher Parisi who has battled his way through frame after frame and now has a chance to put the finishing touches on this outing with Moreno, Cook, and Scary due up here, the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters. Moreno's 0 for 2. He popped out to short. He grounded out to third. He was in the box when Muccia was caught stealing to end the last inning. So that is why he is back to work. As Parisi falling behind in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Parisi was on the mound when they won the league title over Chaminade last year as this bouncer deep into the hole to Lavaca off the bounce, not in time, and it's an infield single for Moreno. So a huge connection to put the ball in play and get the tying run on first base here in the top of the 7th, right past the diving Noe. Lavaca backed him up, made a valiant effort, but Valdez and him could not connect for the out. And Valdez may want to try out for the gymnastics team because he has been stretched out like a pretzel all afternoon. It is amazing the athleticism that he has displayed. Zach Cook now entering the box, who's 0 for 2. He went down looking at the third. He grounded out to short in the 5th. So Cook is going to be lifted for a pinch hitter. It'll be Chris Vangelatos, the starting center fielder. We saw him come in for Cook in the latter part of the last game when Cook was nailed by a pitch on the helmet. The throw to first is not handled cleanly by Valdez, so that is why Moreno was able to get back to the bag. Vangelatos hit .255 during the regular season. Shows bunt. It bounces high into the glove of Parisi, but it is an effective sac bunt that advances Moreno to second base and puts the tying run now in scoring position for Mike Scarry, the number 9 hitter. So Vangelatos did his job, put the ball in play. He started the last 3 years, but he was also under the weather in their last game, and that was part of the reasoning why Cook hit and Vangelatos just played the field. But he has been somebody that Joe Fusco has turned to time after time, so this spot was not too big for him. And we have seen the Bayhawks turn to some new bats here in the inning. But Mike Scarry is going to stick it out here in that 9th spot with a runner on second base and a chance for him to maybe be the hero to tie this game. He is 0 for 2. He grounded out and he popped out in the first pitch. He fouls back into the netting. Scarry drove in 5 runs during league play with a .261 average. He went yard once. As Parisi stares back at second, and the 0-1 pitch is grounded foul. So Scarry facing now an 0-2 count. The number 5 seed had St. Anthony's on the ropes and went for the pin. Can they ignite a rally here against the number 2 seed? And the 0-2 pitch paints the inside corner and is framed beautifully by Cotto for out number 2. Christopher Parisi finds his spot and tells Scarry to strike a pose, with now St. Dom's down to its final out with still the tying run at second. And we go to the top of the order. Ganaris, who grounded out to short in his last at-bat in the 5th. He drew a walk in the 3rd. He grounded out to 3rd in the 1st. And the first pitch misses outside for a ball. Ganaris has had a busy day out in left field. A number of huge catches that kept his team in the game. Can he deliver now with the bat? As he'll send that into no man's land. Ganaris searching for his first hit of the day. He did have a base hit in the 6th inning of their win over St. Anthony's, which was his lone hit in his last at bat. Can he repeat that a few days later? The 1-1 pitch, and that is in for a strike. So St. Dom's is down to its final strike. A trip to the championship series on the line as Kellenberg, the defending champs, trying to get back there for the 2nd straight year. And Parisi is a strike away from a complete game. The 1-2 pitch, and the breaking ball gets past Ganaris for an exclamation point as Parisi will be greeted by his teammates as they know they are heading to Hofstra for one half of the equation of the championship series. Parisi working that outside corner beautifully, and Cotto waves the Bayhawks goodbye. He worked around the leadoff infield single by Moreno. Vangelatos laid down the sac bunt. Then he got scary looking and Ganaris swinging to put the finishing touches on a complete game 4-hitter. And thanks to the 3rd pitcher in the rotation and the man that was on the mound when they won the championship a year ago, he continues to come through in big spots as they hold on for the 3-2 victory over St. Dominic with 1 run in the 3rd and 2 in the 5th. As that is going to wrap things up for us. Game 1 of our doubleheader. We still got another coming at 7 p.m. Eastern. The losers bracket, Chaminade and Holy Trinity. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Chris Sweeney, camera operator, Jeff Damo. I'm Lance Meadows saying so long from Farmingdale, New York. Final score once again, Kellenberg moving on to the championship series with a 3-2 win.